Do you like how I dressed for the occasion?
Oh wow, very good.
Yeah, you know.
Are we talking about Hawkeye today?
No, what? Right, yes, right, great, yeah, amazing. Points out the 13th Doctor T-shirt. We're talking about Hawkeye. You got a Hawkeye cap on. I mean, Hawkeye is brilliant. It is
very good. Yeah, it was. It was better than I expected.
We're gonna do a spin-off now, and it's gonna be like, "Who's There, a Hawkeye podcast." The name doesn't work as well, then I don't think.
No, I mean, Who's There, Hawkeye? There's a little bit of alliteration.
Yeah, I mean, taking aim, a Hawkeye podcast. I don't know.
We'll workshop some ideas.
That's definitely a thing that's gonna happen. Stay tuned.
Is that our intro?
Probably is. Yeah. Probably is. You did hit record, right?
Yeah. I think yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah, definitely. Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast where two YouTubers get together and talk about Doctor Who. I'm your host, Crispy Pro, and joining me is the one, the only, the devious, Red Arch Alive, also known as Troy. How are you, my boy?
Devious? Why am I devious?
You're devious.
How am I devious?
I don't know.
Okay, you had to expose me for something. What have I done?
No, I'm trying to think of the things I can't say right now.
Wow, yeah, I threatened you for your lunch money, and
that is true.
Yeah,
that is very, very devious of you. Very devious indeed. But
I mean,
yes,
you could out me for being late to the recording, but
oh no! I'm not going to expose you like that. I'm not going to tell like the people that you were. How late were you today?
Well, I mean, we normally do it at 10:30 my time, and then we said we were going to be there at 10 o'clock, and then I woke up at 5 minutes past 10 and went, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
So I had to, whip up a nice bowl of Crave, not sponsored, and then get changed and hop onto the podcast. I set an alarm for 9, but apparently I just slept through it. So that's cool. That's great.
It's all right. You don't need to make excuses. You do not need to make any excuses.
Hey, look, it's what happens.
But for our video listeners, for our video watchers, can you show them the t-shirt you have on right now?
It is a Jodie Whittaker 13th Doctor t-shirt, which we established in our little intro bit, because I pretty much decided that's going to be our intro again, and I've knocked my keys over.
Oh, brilliant.
Every episode, right near the start, something gets knocked over! It's a bit.
Oh my goodness, it is a bit.
No,
speaking of bits, we have several bits today. We have several bits to talk about today.
We do indeed.
On the agenda, we have a lot of news. A surprising amount of news came out of the Gallifrey One convention, which took place in, do you know where that was, Troy?
Somewhere in America. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a small country. There wouldn't be much there. There wouldn't be much there. I want to say LA, but I think I'm completely off the mark in that. I will just do a quick Google.
A quick fact check.
Yeah. I know this off the top of my head. I'm just quickly getting my head right. Oh, hang on. I think it actually is Los Angeles. Hang on a minute.
Did you get it right?
I think I might have actually got it right. Hold on a second.
Oh my god, guys.
Hang on a minute.
This podcast does not mess around.
Oh wow, where is the location? How do I... Venue. Yeah, the Marriott Los Angeles Airport. That's where... I got it right.
You've done well.
I'm a genius.
You've done very, very well.
That's it.
Wow.
My brain power is just on another level now. That's it. I just guessed it was in LA and got it right. Amazing. That is...
Unreal.
Wow, unreal. But yeah, so we've got a lot of news that come out of that. There were a few press conferences, panels, probably panels is a better word, I guess, with Mandip Gill was there, who plays current companion Yaz. You've got Sacha Dhawan, who plays the current iteration of the Master, Joe Martin, who plays the Ruth Doctor, the Fugitive Doctor, however you want to call her, and Matt Strevens, I think is how you say his surname, who is the current executive producer with Chris Chibnall. So he's kind of like the Julie Garner of this era, if that's probably the best way to refer. So they talked about quite a few things. We're going to dive into those. One of them, other bits of news that we've got to talk about, though, is regarding the 14th Doctor, as it seems that person has already been cast. So in the main meat of this episode, we're going to be discussing who we think could, or who we'd like to be, the next Doctor. Discuss some favourites for the betting right now, some of our also, or just personal favourites, the people we'd like to see and why. and just try and get that discussion going. So one thing I will say, because we did a terrible job of saying this at the start of the last episode, because we didn't say it until about 50 minutes, let us know down in the comment section below, if you're on YouTube, in the Q&A section on Spotify, or contact us on Twitter or Instagram at Who's There DW. If you've got any questions for us to answer during the podcast, let us know if there's things you want us to talk about with regards to Doctor Who, about us, or about the current topic of the episode. What we will say is next week we're going to be talking about meeting people in Doctor Who, so different members of the cast and different stories, because by the time this episode goes up, I will be in London, will have already met Mandip Gill, and might be about to meet Jodie Whittaker. I don't quite know what the time is going to be meeting her at that convention, so it's going to be around about that time. I will have met Mandip, so this is going to be a crazy time. Understandably, I'm probably going to be talking a lot about that next episode, so it would be cool if people in the community, if you've met anybody in the Doctor Who community, to let us know about it, tell us the story, and if you haven't met anybody, don't worry, we'll keep you included. Who would you like to meet most? And let us know why. And then we can talk about it that way. I believe we did have a question on Twitter. Should we open with that Twitter question? And
yeah, we can start.
We'll look at the Twitter question, and then we'll move straight into the news topics, and then we'll go into the 14th Doctor discussion. So we got a question on Twitter from a user by the name of -itch. How do we is it -itch? I think that's how we say it, yes. Who said, which episode out of the following would you rather see in Doctor Who? So our first option is the 11th Doctor meeting Missy. Our second option is the 9th Doctor facing off with the Cybermen. And the third option is a Dalek episode for the 13th Doctor, but it's written by Russel T. Davies. Okay, now, what do we think?
I know where my head's at with this one.
Do tell.
I think it would have to be the first one there, 11 meeting Missy. I think that would be an insane pairing to see on screen, just to see their back and forth. I mean, I really loved Capaldi's back and forth with Missy, but I don't know. 11, when 11 gets mad, is some of my favorite Doctor Who. And I reckon he'd be very mad with Missy. Very mad with Missy.
It is very strange that 11 never met the Master. And you look back on it now and you kind of go, like, because they left such a huge space in between John Sim and Michelle Gomez. And then Chris Chibnall basically just went, so who was in the finale of Series 10? The Master? Okay, right. So I won't use them for one series. How's that?
One season, yep.
Which, by the way, that's not a criticism. I love Sacha Dhawan's Master, and I'm glad we have him. It's just wild that there's only like a 1 year gap there, kind of. Or no, actually, by the time it came out, there was more like 3 years. Yeah, because there's gaps between seasons. So actually, we kind of
2017, 2018,
yeah.
Wow, yeah, it was 3 years.
That is surreal. But I don't. The only thing that worries me about that is that Missy. I think they often cast the Master to bounce off that current Doctor, and I wonder if the chemistry would quite be right with 11. I don't quite know if it would be. But that would be interesting. 9 facing off of the Cybermen is a Big Finish audio drama that has released ? Or is it about to release? Has it released?
Really?
Yeah, that's a current one. That's one of the 9th Doctor adventures. I haven't been listening to them, and I need to, but that's the one that's about to release. I'm pretty sure for the 9th Doctor.
Yeah, well, because I listened to the first 3, like the Ravengers, or whatever.
The Ravagers, which ended up in
the
Flux,
Ravagers,
and definitely aren't the same. I'm guessing, but still,
they are not the same. I thought it was going to be a huge tie-in, but it was not. But yeah, no, those audios are really, really good. I didn't realize they were going to be one with the Cybermen. That's awesome.
Well, you can tell he really is enjoying them if he doesn't even know what the next episode of release is. And I know, and I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
You know what?
My
goodness. I hope nature turns round and okay, I'm not gonna. If you know, you know. But then we have got the last option, Dalek episode for 13, written by Russel T Davies. I honestly, I quite like the Dalek episodes we've had. I think all 3 have been really solid. I loved Revolution of the Daleks. I know that's been a little bit more polarizing. Some people weren't as keen on that episode, but I loved it. And maybe hot take, I loved the Revolution Dalek design. I thought that was clean. I really liked those Daleks. But that being said, a Dalek episode being written by RTD for 13 doesn't necessarily mean that we wouldn't have had the episodes that we have had. And honestly, I'm just excited to see more Russell. So it would be interesting to see Russell write for 13. So I think out of those 3, I feel like I'd probably pick that one.
Yeah, good option. Excellent option. But yeah, in saying that, I do feel like the Dalek, Chibnall episodes are probably some of Chibnall's strongest. Like, they're so much fun.
Yeah.
But, I'm not gonna, not want more Russell T Davies in my life. So
well said. We did have another question on Twitter, which I've just noticed we had now. We got 2 questions on Twitter. Would you believe it, guys? We are popular? ? We actually have fans.
Mark.
Alfie wants to know, if we were asked to write a Doctor Who episode, what would it be about? So do you want to lead with that? What would it be about for you?
That is so hard to think of on the spot.
I know, and I've done that on purpose just to make you uncomfortable. No, I'm not really.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
No.
I'm just trying to think. Like, well, I tell you what, let's adapt it because otherwise it might be a bit more difficult to answer. What monster would you put in it? Would you have a new one or would you have a returning monster? How would you work it?
I want Dr. Light episode.
Oh, okay. All right.
Companion focused. I love the idea of timey-wimey time loop stuff, which is why I absolutely loved Eve of the Daleks. So it'd probably be something quirky, off-world, time loop. Doctor doesn't save the day.
Ooh.
Not sure what monster though.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cliffhanger.
Ooh. Yeah. They're a good cliffhangers. I mean, Pyramid at the End of the World had something kind of like that, and that was kind of creepy because you almost didn't see the 3-parter coming, and it was like, oh, what, we're rolling into another episode with these? Wow, okay.
Hello, let's go. The Doctor's still blind?
The end of that episode was so good. That cliffhanger was brilliant.
Yeah,
I loved that.
That was sick. That was
really,
so much
really
fun.
well handled. Well, we've got to spend some time talking about Capaldi at some point. For me, I don't know how I'd write it, but there's one thing I want more than anything in the world, and I really hope Russell T Davies delivers this. Bring back the Slitheen. Okay, I don't care how.
Ooh.
I don't care why. I don't care when. Just do it. Okay? They were brilliant. They were underrated. And I don't care if I get shot for it. It's true. Okay? Tone down the farting, obviously. Because that was...
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
obviously,
I was about to say,
it was a political metaphor and all that. I get it. But, like, it was excessive. It was excessive. But you could do it, like... Because Sarah Jane Adventures, they really nailed the Slitheen. They did them, like, a good few times. And I think, in particular... This is going to be a huge spoiler if you haven't seen Sarah Jane Adventures, so go watch it if you haven't. But obviously, I like how we say it like someone's going to pause a podcast, go watch a series of a show, and then come back to it. Like, the dedication there will be real. Paul, I know you can do it.
Come on, Paul.
But
just pause and watch the show.
The last 2 episodes of Sarah Jane Adventures Series 1, The Lost Boy, that is the best, like, possible Slitheen cliffhanger, because they got rid of the kind of the fat suit metaphor. They were like, no, we just go into, like, slimline skin suits so you don't see it coming. Because that's the thing with Slitheen, when you see like a few overweight characters in the same scene, you can see they're looking a bit evil. You're like, hang on, are these Slitheen? Yeah. Are they Slitheen? But they completely circumvented that, and the cliffhanger was really good. I remember being like on the edge of my seat at like 11 years old, like, oh, it's Slitheen! Oh, it's Slitheen! So I'd love to see.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember
that at all.
It was when the Luke's supposed real parents got in contact and were like, we want Luke back. And they held him kind of like hostage in this house. It was when Mr. Smith turned out to be a bad guy as well.
I think it's been about 7 years since I watched that, so I should get
So
on
now you
that.
can tell who the real fan of the Doctor Who universe is, despite me being the one who doesn't have a YouTube channel surrounded around, on Doctor Who for the last 8-9 years.
On Doctor Who.
Yeah,
not the Sarah Jane Adventures.
That's about they're the same thing. They're both hand in hand. You can't watch Doctor Who without Sarah Jane. That's to everyone out there. If you've not seen Sarah Jane Adventures, go watch it. It's brilliant.
Get on it.
It's brilliant.
Because I have to. I've got to do my homework. But
thank you for those questions.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So,
that's huge. I didn't realize we had 2 questions.
We did have questions. Yeah, wow. It just shows you who I'm also better at managing the socials. Brilliant. It's literally just going to be the Troy Looks Down on Crispy episode or podcast. I genuinely, after the recording session, was like, I'm worried how I've come across here, and I'm still ramming it home.
You are fine. You are fine.
Oh,
you just got up. You had a lovely breakfast.
I did. I stayed up till 3 a.m. playing Mass Effect. It was a great time. It was a great time.
Oh, you crazy boy.
I am crazy, but I mean, it's been worse. Also, side note to the Mass Effect fans out there: has anyone heard how the Suicide Mission soundtrack sounds just like I Am the Doctor? I hope there's at least one person out there who knows what I'm talking about. There's got to be, and you should play Mass Effect so you know. Paul knows.
Paul plays Mass Effect.
He does.
He's always online.
He does.
I see him online all the time.
You should definitely play it. There's a piece of music towards the end of the second game called the Suicide Mission, and it literally has the dun 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 dun, and it like every time you hear it, you're like, hang on a minute, is that? Oh no, it's because there's only a little bit that sounds a little different. They kind of incorporate the Mass Effect theme in its place, and but it's very similar. But it's kind of cool. It makes it better.
Up? Does it get you going? Like, does it hype you up?
It's got the same kind of like adrenaline like rush that I Am the Doctor gives you. It's weird. It's cool.
Heck
anyway, speaking
of
things that are quite cool and giving you adrenaline rushes, should we talk about the news?
Segue.
I've done the segue.
That was a good segue.
I've done the segue. I know.
That was brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant. So. Let's talk first about the Gallifrey One stuff, because I think the 14th Doctor we can lead into our main meat of the topic. So, first off, it's been all but confirmed that the Legends of the Sea Devils episode of Doctor Who, the next special, is airing on Easter Sunday, which is the 17th of April. So that puts it just under 2 months away.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is this the first time we're getting it on Easter since, what was it, Tennant's episode?
Planet of the Dead? Yeah, it could well be.
Planet of the Dead.
And then again, the series, some of them did air during that period. We might have had an episode that aired around Easter, but just not been an Easter special.
The 11th hour? No.
I know that they used to air, like... The one thing I used to remember was when Russell T Davies did the show, the series often finished around my birthday. I know Journey's End was like the Sunday before my birthday, and often like the series would end around then. That's how I'd remember roughly when it would end. It'd be in August. But
lucky you.
I know. Journey's End, right? Oh, crying near your birthday. We love that.
Oh wow!
But yeah, as an actual Easter special, it's the second one they've only done this. They've ever done this run of Doctor Who. I don't know whether they ever did one in Classic Who. That's one thing we should have mentioned in the first episode, and I realised afterwards. I have almost no Classic Who knowledge beyond watching like YouTube clips, and I've seen a bit. The only full serial I've seen of Classic Who is The Time Warrior, which is the first Sontaran story with John Pertwee.
Oh wow!
Because I wanted to see Liz Sladen's first. Really, John, this is the Sarah Jane Love episode, and you know what? Rightfully so. But I wanted to see her first story, and it was also the first Sontaran story, so I was like, yeah, let's just go for it. And that was very, very cool when they mentioned in Flux, when, what's his name, Skark, was it? The Sontaran general, it was like, we've had a claim on Earth since Lynx landed here, and I was like, I know that, I did the Leonardo meme, and I was like, I get that, I've seen that episode. That was really cool for me. It was like, nice. The one classic story I've seen, you referenced it. It was very cool.
Did you enjoy the episode? Did you have a good time with it?
With the Time Warrior or with War of the Sontarans?
With the Time Warrior.
The Time Warrior, it was really good. It's really, really good. I mean, Classic Who is awesome. Kind of... It's obviously very dated now, and there are parts where you're like, what's going on here? But as an actual story, I really liked it. I think it was quite cool. It's quite cool.
No, I've only ever seen like really... I think I've seen maybe 5, 6 classic episodes. Like the 5 Doctors. I watched the first. I watched was it Unearthly Child?
Yeah, no, actually, I have seen a couple of episodes of the Unearthly Child. I'm not sure if I've seen the whole serial. I've seen a couple of episodes there, and I think I've seen one episode of Time and the Rani, but I didn't understand what was going on.
I did a video back in the day called "My Problem with Classic Who," and my problem was that I hadn't seen it, so that was just clickbait at its finest. And that was back in 2018. And in the comments, I asked people to leave like a cheat sheet as to how to watch Classic Who. And that people gave me like really, really good lists.
They just say, watch it in order.
Watch it in order, and then it'll all make sense. So yeah, I want to go back and actually do a series on this channel where I watch Classic Who, I think.
On this channel? So he's already preparing ahead for these clips to be on his own channel? Like, he's literally just said that in his head to prepare.
Not this one.
Yeah, he means on Crispy Pro.
I could chuck it on the Who's There. I could chuck it on the Who's There.
Oh, yeah, so you just take over and make it Crispy Pro 2.0.
You don't know my plan.
Speaking of things that we haven't seen, though, should we then talk about the Centenary? I like how I opened the podcast last time, you did the segues, now you've opened the podcast and I'm doing the segues.
We're swapping roles.
It's weird.
We're swapping roles.
Very weird.
It's strange, but it's working.
It is working.
Let's keep it going.
It's working even more when we point it out, just like last time. The Centenary, we've got a few things. One thing I'm going to do very quickly is check the Wikipedia page, because there's a few bits of news regarding the Centenary, a couple we've talked about, and one that I actually did not mention in the intro, which is possibly quite big, if it's still here. Where is this going to appear?
Killing me.
Well, because I need to see it on the Wikipedia page. Bingo, it's a 2022 specials. Oh, it's been removed. Oh, it's been removed. So it might not be real.
Wikipedia. I don't know how reliable.
So, exactly.
What was it?
On Wikipedia, they filled out, there's a page of the 2022 specials. So obviously there's a listing for the Daleks, one for Legend of the Sea Devils, and one for the Centenary Special, which I've just realised, oh, wow, what? This is the 300th Doctor Who story. Are you kidding me?
Is it? No, wait,
in the entire run of Doctor Who.
Or the entire thing?
Because Wikipedia keeps count of, stories, yeah. And I think, the 200th one was it in David Tennant's run? I can't remember. But the 200th story appeared, I think it might have been Waters of Mars or something. It was something along those lines. The 300th, story, regardless of, two-parters and stuff. So, if a two-parter or three-parter is a story, the 300th story is going to be the Centenary. That's crazy. But it was on Twitter last night. Someone had slid the name in for the special. It has now since left, so I don't know how trustworthy it is, but I did kind of like it, so I hope it's true. The name that was in there was The Woman Who Fell to Time. And honestly, I like that a lot.
That goes hard.
I really like that. It's
That
a
is
good mirror to her first
awesome.
episode, and it suggests that the stuff with Time and Flux isn't done with. I mean, Time did warn the
Yeah.
Doctor, but I didn't think they'd play a part in it. I thought it would just be the Master, but I like it. I know someone on Twitter replied and was like, I think it'd be better if it was the woman who fell through time, and I'm like, yeah, but it then means that she's just falling through time. It's not talking about the actual time from Flux. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just like it.
Fell to time. That time defeated the Doctor.
The only other
That's
one,
so
the only
cool.
other one that could be quite good is the woman who fell on Earth. But that sounds like she just like fell onto the planet, which doesn't sound quite as well. Yeah, I know.
She just
You know what I'm
tripped-
trying to
she
say
just
there, but it
tripped
doesn't
into a
roll as
pile of
hard.
dirt.
I think
Yeah.
Fell to Time is good. I think that's a
Fell
really
to Time's
good
awesome.
one. But what we do know about the Centenary,
That's not the only news. That's not the
Exactly.
only news with the Centenary.
what we do know is that the Roof Doctor will be making an appearance. Matt Stevens has confirmed that. He has said we have not seen the last of the Roof Doctor. Bearing in mind, that could, of course, mean that she instead pops up in Legend of the Sea Devils, but I don't think anyone believes that. I don't think anyone is really thinking she's going to show up there, which might play good for a surprise, but I don't know. I think Centenary makes sense. We know the
100%.
Master's coming back then. Oh, well, again, we don't. We know that he's coming back.
We don't know, but
there
come
could
on.
be a cliffhanger in Sea Devils, actually, that we could get a little tease of the Master.
True.
Like a little
true.
Ood Sigma in the snow. We might get a little Master in the
A
background.
little Ood Sigma in the snow.
That's
love
possible.
that.
But I think Roof Doctor and the Master and the 13th Doctor all like chewing up the scenery. That'll be really cool.
Yeah,
that'll be
I think
cool
it's
to
gonna
see.
be big. It's going to be grand. And I think we all kind of assumed, we kind of hoped that the Roof Doctor, well, Fugitive Doctor, was going to be in this special, because I need to do that character justice. I want some answers. I want to see the Roof Doctor kick some ass. I want to see
Pull
it all.
some Jadoon
I want to see
horn.
it all. Some Jadoon horn.
She's dealing with some horny Jadoon.
Damn, that's a horny Jadoon.
Yeah, damn. Wow, okay. But yeah, so that's happening. And also, one other thing that Matt Stevens said, and I don't know how well we can take this, like take it with a pinch of salt, but he kind of hinted, I haven't got the tweet up in front of me, I'm doing this from memory, I apologise, but he did say that, he made a comment along the lines of who actually makes it to the Centenary, as if someone might leave and or die. Now, I mean, we know for a fact that Mandip's in the Centenary because they filmed the last scene and it was Jodie and Mandip together. I'm pretty sure, like Jodie's regeneration, that whole thing. Dan, I don't think
And
was
John
there.
was there?
I don't think.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure John Bishop was there for that bit, but I guess listen or like mute the podcast for the next 20 seconds or just skip ahead or something if you don't want to hear a leak for what's going to happen in the Centenary. It's not a huge one. It's a casting one. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. There was a set photo that went out not very long ago of John Bishop on set with Bradley Walsh. And again, much like the Roof Doctor and the Master, it doesn't make sense for that to be in Legend of the Sea Devils. That's probably going to be the Centenary. Which means, logically, Mandip and John Bishop are both still going to be in the Centenary. So I don't know what he means by who doesn't make it to the Centenary. Who else could there be?
Who else?
Is Ryan going to die off screen? Like, what's...
Yeah, they just mentioned that. Yeah,
Ryan's dead.
He
Okay.
got
We
hit
move
by
on.
a basketball.
No, shout out all the Ryan fans. They're out there somewhere. They're out there.
The Ryan stands.
His subscribers
The
on
Ryan
YouTube.
stands.
His subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you should subscribe to this podcast on YouTube.
Oh, so many good segues today.
I'm good.
I'm shocked. I'm
Very
absolutely
happy.
shocked.
But because we are nearly half an hour into the episode, we should slide into the main topic. But before that, there is one more piece of news. One more little piece. One
more piece, please. Please hit me with it.
For the Phasmin
What is the
stands
news?
out there, if you're into Phasmin at all, or if you're into my camera getting ridiculously bright, because I'm watching it in the playback now, and it's getting so bright, the sunlight is shining through the window, so that's going to look great on YouTube, whatever. I'm probably not going to mess with the brightness too much, because it'll probably go dark again in a minute. So enjoy the brightness, everyone. Hope you're having fun. But yeah, Phasmin. We have got a little bit of Phasmin news, which is that Matt Stevens confirmed that the only reason Phasmin exists is because of Jodie Whittaker. That is a fact. Because people were watching Series 11 and kind of saying, is there something going on there between 11 and Yaz? And apparently there was a load of it on Twitter. Jodie saw some of it, took it to Chris Chibnall, went, make it happen, and he went, all right.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
they started dropping hints in Series 12 and then like proper serious ones. I mean, the end of Flux was the biggest one where everyone kind of went,
obviously.
hang on a minute, is this where it's going? Although it did kind of like slightly be distracted by the fact that John Bishop vanished into thin air during that scene.
That is true.
I don't know.
That is
For those
true.
of you who didn't notice, you'll go back and watch if you happen to go back and watch The Vanquishers ever again, which I definitely will. I know a lot of people seem to really not like that episode. I quite liked it, but whatever. We can do a Flux episode at some point in the future. Yeah, pointing at yourself. Yeah, because you got no taste. Yeah, we can see each other's cameras this time.
No,
so
I do
I can catch
have
him out.
taste.
But I say I can catch him out, but he could have done anything in the last half an hour, and I might not have seen it because I had a Word document up instead. So really, I had to... But no, in that one bit of the scene, if you look again, John Bishop is walking off into the background of the TARDIS, and the camera's on Yaz, and like 13 just says Yaz or something, and the camera changes. It changes to a different camera, still a similar shot, and Yaz turns around, but John Bishop is suddenly just not there. He was going up the stairs.
He's got magical abilities.
Thanos snapped out of nowhere. He's just gone. He's disappeared. So enjoy having that immersion.
You're full of good little... You're so good at finding little things in episodes like
continuity, I'm a nightmare for that. I spot continuity things so easily. Like, I remember... I don't know, there's an old-timey film called the Railway Children. I don't know if anyone's seen it who's watching this, but... I haven't really watched the film, but I had it on the TV in the background. The only thing that I noticed when I was younger was just a tree fell over in the background. And I found to be the funniest thing in existence. It's like right at the end of the film, they're all walking along this field and probably saying something about, oh, here's the lessons we learned in life. Ha-da-da-da-da, whatever it is they say in that film. No idea. But all I could see was a tree just went, I'm out, and fell over. And it was a huge
tree. Have a good one.
I spot so continuity things. It's just... I'm really bad with it.
It's part of your nature.
It is part of my nature. It is part of my nature. But speaking of part of my nature, one thing that is really strong in my nature is my love of Doctor Who, and I think the thing we should talk about next is the 14th Doctor. I think that's a very important topic.
The 14th Doctor.
Indeed. Because the 14th Doctor here is the little piece of a news question mark. We've got loads of news. Here's a little news in inverted commas that is leading us to talk about this episode, because we were thinking about doing a Flux breakdown this week, so we'll probably do that in a couple of weeks' time after the Comic-Con episode now. But... somebody by the name of... Give me a moment. That's not his name. Someone by the name of AlJ99 shared a tweet last night, or by the time you're seeing this, about 4 or 5 nights ago. And it was a comment on Russell T Davies' post about It's a Sin getting a Directors Guild Award. And the comment basically just said, Russell, please like this comment if the next Doctor has been cast. Russell likes the comment. Now, he could be playing it up for humour. He could be playing it up for humour.
It's confirmed. That's it. End of episode. It's confirmed. We have a Doctor. Who cares?
Yeah, that's
I'm signing off. Good night, everyone. Have a good one. I'll see you later.
Oh, he's gone. He's committed to the bit. He's actually got up and walked off. He's actually committed to the bit. I have to carry the whole podcast. Wow. Okay, this is commitment. So Crispy Pro has now officially left the podcast. He's showing Tim Tam on the screen. I don't know what the hell a Tim Tam is.
You don't know what a Tim Tam is?
Yeah, I haven't got a clue what that is. It looked like some kind of chocolate bar, but I don't know what that was.
All right.
I haven't got a clue.
That's all right. We can talk about Tim Tams another day. We have some delicious news to talk about.
Let's just focus, shall we? Let's just focus. So he could be playing it up for a laugh. But Russell has very often been teasing things. I mean, he teased his second era on Instagram before, like, it was actually announced. He put a picture of himself up on Instagram with a picture of himself behind him, and he put like RTD2 or something, and it was like 3 days before it was announced he was the next showrunner. He's known to tease stuff. Same like we said about last week. I realized we mentioned that we said about Christmas episodes coming back with Russell. That's because he did do a tweet at some point, kind of not a tweet, an Instagram post again along those lines, kind of hinted that he'd be bringing Christmas specials back. So his Instagram often holds a lot of weight for little teasers with this man. He's very, very, very teasy. He is a tease. Cheesy is not a word, whatever. So I think it's fair to say him liking that comment probably does mean the Doctor has been cast, which also makes sense because I'm pretty sure filming starts in like 2 months. So you kind of need to have your Doctor nailed by this point.
I think the massive rumor right now is that like filming will commence early April, April.
There we go. And it's also confirmed the 14th Doctor will be James Corden. Now. So, get ready for that.
It is confirmed. It's James Corden, I didn't realise we were going to have that as an exclusive for the Who's There podcast. I didn't realise we were going to leak that information.
The Late Show with the Doctor.
Corden. We are happy to say.
Are we happy to say? Do we want James Corden as the 14th Doctor?
Oh yeah. No, he's my number one pick.
Oh, is he your number one? Right. Okay. So let's move on to talk about our favorite Doctors then. Let's keep with the segue. So your favorite casting for the future Doctor is going to be James Corden. Let's look at some favorites in the betting shops, shall we? So I am pulling information from a table here from a website that is olbg.com. So the sports betting community apparently is what they're called. I've just looked up and seen that. So it is a betting site. But they have pulled odds from William Hill. So one betting site has pulled odds from another betting site, as you do. But there are a list of 11 names, it seems here, with potential possibilities for casting. So we're going to go through a few of them. We'll go with the top ones and then just kind of work our way down and see what we think. So currently the best odds...
Who's number one, Troy?
Number one on 11 to 10 odds. So if you're not a betting person, which I'm not really, but I kind of understand the odds, 11 to 10 means you're basically getting very little on top of what you bet. It's a very, very, very common bet right now. Is David Tennant as the 14th Doctor.
He's coming back. He's coming back confirmed. I'm gonna go to Russell T Davis's Instagram right now and say, "Oh, we like this comment." If David Tennant is coming back,
I must be completely blind because I just noticed this table has David Tennant at 11 to 10 odds, and then further down the table also has David Tennant at 7 to 1 odds.
Oh wow!
Why is he there twice?
Maybe is that the one that went off and married Rose, the Metacrisis doctor?
Maybe it could be, or it could just be that they've combined old and new tables.
Metacrisis David Tennant.
It could be before leaks that David Tennant was coming back, after leaks that David Tennant was coming back.
Yeah.
Well, leaks. We say that it's only heavily rumored, but I feel like we should talk about it very briefly. There's been rumors going around that David Tennant and Catherine Tate will both come back and from the 60th anniversary and some specials, etc. People are taking that to mean that David Tennant will be the 14th Doctor, or possibly that Catherine Tate might be the Doctor and they might reverse the roles. The way I see it purely is if they are going to do something like that, I think it'll be just a couple of specials and then the 14th Doctor will kick it off. Because I've always felt a bit uneasy since they announced this that the 14th Doctor has to start off with the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, that's not an introductory episode. That is not an introductory episode.
Exactly. You like a lot of people are going to want a multi-Doctor special. They're going to want something that reflects on past years of Doctor Who. Now, granted, regeneration stories often do that, and I think there's no better example of that than the 11th Hour with the speech on the roof at the hospital because you're seeing all the old Doctors and then Matt Smith step out. That's great. But
they just touch on it. Just touch on it. It's not a multi-Doctor special, but it shows heritage.
And we all know David Tennant was up to do the 60th anniversary. I mean, the only thing he said is, people say it to me like it's my decision, like I'm the one who calls the shots. But he, of course, wants to come back. He would. Matt Smith, I feel like, is probably likely would come back. I think that'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I think so.
Jodie Whittaker would be a strange one. Only because I'm pretty sure the 60th anniversary is the first episode after Jodie's regeneration. It'd be very strange if she just shows up in the next episode. But then again, Matt Smith did that, although it wasn't for very long. I don't know. Plus, it was kind of like a flashback thing rather than being in the story and interacting. So that's a bit odd.
True. I think that might be how they would do it. Like, then maybe they would film like a flashbacky thing with Jodie Whittaker.
Capaldi is more difficult because he has kind of sworn off it, I think. He said he isn't going to do big finish audio dramas. And then also kind of said he thinks the more multi-Doctor stories you do, the more it ruins the concept. Which I get, but also we've not had that many of them, have we? Unless the classic era has about 50 that I don't remember. Because I know there's a few.
But I don't know. Yeah,
there's the 3 Doctors, the 5 Doctors, and the 2
recently.
Doctors.
I'm like,
But I'm trying to remember beyond that if there's any others. I don't actually think there is. There's just those 3, right?
I don't know. Twice Upon Time.
Oh, is there one where 3 and 2 get together? There might well be.
I don't know. You know about as much of classic Who as I do.
I don't know. I do not know.
But anyway, I hope he returns because I mean,
really
you
do.
and I both love
Capaldi.
Like, we love him.
Yeah, because he's an icon, and it does worry me because I know people sometimes talk about him, kind of getting screwed around at the end of the show, like kind of signing off Series 10 and then saying, "No, we don't need you" and stuff like that. And obviously the BBC, that one infamous BBC post that I don't think anyone will ever forget, where they were like, Capaldi's Doctor, who we can all agree wasn't universally loved, and it was just
yeah, I remember. Why did you bring that up? Oh my god, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That hurt me. Yeah, who wrote that? Paul, if it was you, I swear.
It wasn't Paul.
I swear,
Paul's too pure for that.
Right.
Paul is too pure for that.
He's too busy playing Mass Effect.
Did you know?
Yeah,
he is. Did you know? I don't think I said this to you in your Discord server. Someone said they'd listened to the podcast. And then I was like, what did you think of it? He went, well, I clearly wasn't the target audience, but I still enjoyed it. And I was like, what do you mean you're not in the target audience? You don't like Doctor Who? I was like, why are you in the server?
Like Doctor Who?
And he went, no, my name's not Paul. I was like, okay, fair enough.
Nice.
That's how you know someone's listened.
I like that. Well done.
That was good.
Picking up on the bits.
Speaking of the bits, should we move on to our current bit, or carry on with our current bit, which is about Doctor Odds? We talked about David Tennant, but who is next on the table? You've got it in front of you, so take the lead here. Yeah. Who's next on the odds?
This one is one that I think is incredibly likely. We've had this name tossed around for the past year and a half. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my personal favorites.
Agreed.
Lydia West.
She is.
Have you seen It's a Sin?
Yes. It is one of the best dramas
Brilliant.
I've ever seen.
Unreal. I cried my eyes out.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. If you have not seen It's a Sin, thoroughly recommend you go watch it. It is a very dark, like a heavy drama, because it's all about the AIDS epidemic of the 1980s. It's more centered in the UK. Like if that makes a difference to anyone, I don't know, but it's got a stellar cast. I mean, no, it was enough for me to know Russell T Davies was writing it, and then Neil Patrick Harris was in it as a huge How I Met Your Mother fan. That already. I was like, wow, Neil Patrick Harris, let's go, this will be brilliant. But it was a 5-part drama written and I think directed, but at least written by Russell T Davies. I'm not sure whether he directed it actually. I'll take that back.
I'm not sure.
He wrote it.
I don't think
he wrote
directed,
it. That's the main thing. But it was a fantastic drama.
Unreal.
Olly Alexander led it, who we'll come to in a minute, who is was originally the lead singer of Years and Years, is now just Years and Years on his own, because the band is split up and gone their separate ways, and he's just taken the name forward. He was kind of like the surprise standout, because I don't think he'd done any acting really before that, as far as I know. But
that was the first mention that I saw. He was unreal.
He was phenomenal. It was actually shocking how good he was. I was blown away. But his second, his kind of like, if you want to say his companion, just because we're trying to make it Doctor Who-ish, was Lydia West, his kind of like best friend. And she was phenomenal. There was a scene with her and another actress, Keely Hawes, who, if you remember in Doctor Who, she was in the Time Heist episode. She ran the Bank of Carabraxos, if anyone remembers that episode. I love Keely Hawes because I loved Ashes to Ashes, the drama, Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. Have you seen those? They were UK dramas. Have you seen either of those by any chance?
Nope.
No. One's got John Sim, one's got Keely Hawes, and it's about someone who ends up in an accident and ends up back in time. In Life in Mars, John Sim gets hit by a car, wakes up in the 1970s, and Keely Hawes gets shot, wakes up in the 1980s. And it's like a comedy drama type thing with loads of old good fashion music. It's based on obviously the David Bowie songs there, where the names come from. They're fantastic dramas. Go watch them. But there's a scene with Lydia West and Keely Hawes right at the very, very end of the final episode, which I can't spoil at all. But the way that Lydia held the scene together there, because Keely's brilliant, but Lydia commanded that scene. And I remember watching it, crying my eyes out, thinking, "Wow, this is fantastic. She's brilliant." So as soon as her name started getting tossed around, done. Like, I was like, that's perfect. She's a great casting.
How old do you think she is?
I swear I've seen this online somewhere. She's not very old. But I mean, she doesn't look it anyway. She looks quite young. I think I'm going to go with 27.
Oh, you're so close. 28. Well done.
I bet she was 27 when I saw it mentioned like a while ago. I bet you that's why I remember. Would that make her the youngest Doctor?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How old was
I think he was
26,
Matt Smith. How old was Matt Smith when he started Doctor Who?
Welcome 26. To Googling the
He was 26,
the podcast.
So he was only just slightly...
He was 26? Oh, wow.
So how old was Peter Davison? Because Peter Davison was the youngest one before that.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh, wow, great. I like how I put... How old was Peter Davison when he started Doctor Who? And Google says 12 years. It says
he was... he really was the youngest.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it means how old was he when Doctor Who first started, but that doesn't really help me. At age 29.
No wonder he was playing cricket. He was still doing PE.
So Peter...
He was how old,
Peter Davison was 29. Matt Smith was 26. So...
Oh, wow.
There was only a few years between them, realistically. But yeah, so Lydia West is the second favourite, and she's brilliant. But also, in third place, another Years and Years star, is Amari Douglas. I cannot for the life of me remember his character's name. I mean, then again, I can't even really remember Lydia West's name. I can't remember the characters' names, which is kind of weird.
I can't remember any of the names, but you feel
the drama is genuinely
so
phenomenal.
fondly towards them.
Yeah, it's weird. But Amari Douglas was fantastic. He was a really, really, really good actor in it. He was absolutely phenomenal. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in it. I think he'd be quite good. He's not my favourite out of the castings, I think, for Doctor Who, personally. But I wouldn't complain.
I'd love to see Amari in more stuff.
Yeah, I want to see him in more stuff. Either. I'm just not sure about the Doctor. I don't know. I think he'd make a good companion. There's the argument that some of them will be better companions. I think he'd be a better companion.
I feel like out of the entire, like, It's a Sin cast, which is pretty much on this betting site.
Yeah.
That Lydia West would probably be the best pick for me as the Doctor. Like out of like, you know, the most likely ones, considering Russell T Davies wrote the show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Swiftly followed.
Amari,
in fourth place by Olly Alexander. At 11 to 2
Olly Alexander. Years and years.
Who has flat out
years.
denied it. Who has said that it's not him.
So many times.
Russell T Davies has kind of said that it's...
So many interviews.
Yeah, he's kind of hinted... He didn't really shut it down as much as Olly did, but he was kind of like, oh, stop, ha ha ha, I can't tell you that, blah, blah, blah. But of course he wouldn't, like, Russell T Davies... I know he's teasing things, but he's not going to play coy about who the actor is until it's just announced, I don't feel like. Unless there is... I bet you... What if there is a hint on his Instagram right now that is so subtle we just don't know? That's got me thinking now.
You've actually... I reckon you've called it. I reckon there is something so minute that we will not know
Not
until
even
after the
clickbait news
fact.
sites will clock it, and then it'll come out and they'll be like, "How did we miss this?
How did we miss it?" Yeah, I have no idea. idea.
Olly would be amazing.
But yeah, Olly Alexander. Olly would be great. And I really hope that they subtly use some of the songs from years and years in the show.
I haven't heard the new album.
If there's a nightclub scene, the new album's very... Have you heard Starstruck?
Yes, that was like the big single. That was really good.
Yeah, that was a single. It slaps.
Also, the actual song, It's a Sin,
slaps.
because that was originally a Pet Shop Boys song in the 80s. That's where the name came from for the show. Because I think it was a different name for it at the time. He had a different name for the show, and then he had to change it for one reason or another. I can't remember what it was. In fact, I'm going to look it up, because I remember... I think it got changed for one reason or another, and I'm just going to double check. Was that the case?
Yeah, but Ollie's cover, was it a cover that he did of It's a Sin then, or is it an original?
It's a cover.
Yeah, well, regardless, it is phenomenal. It's very good.
I'm just trying to see if I can figure out. Maybe it didn't.
Mate, you're making this up. You are lying to Paul and the rest of our listeners.
No, I thought it had...
It's not acceptable. It's episode 2. We have to set standards.
Oh, it was. Yes, that's it. Found it. It was originally going to be called Boys. But they renamed it because of The Boys from Amazon. I knew there was something that made it be renamed. See, I don't just make things up. It's based on facts that I can't remember.
I think It's a Sin's a way better title anyway. It's a Sin's a much better title. And the Years and Years
cover was phenomenal of it. I absolutely loved his cover of that song. It was beautiful. In a lot of ways, I think it was better than the original. I don't know whether that's a hot take. He did do a version with Elton John, which I really did like.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I kind of just have a thing for the original. I think the original was just fantastic. So, I don't know, but that song was great.
Awesome.
But I would love to see Olly Alexander. Beyond that, though...
Next up,
the next one is Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen. This name has been thrown around for ages.
I think it's a little bit of a stage placement, to be honest. Long. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Yeah, you know.
I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind Michael Sheen. Have you seen Good Omens?
I have not. I just want to check that you got the joke I made there.
What was the joke you made?
I knew you didn't get it. Because I got the sarcastic laugh. I said it was a staged bet, like, you know, the program Staged that he was in with David Tennant.
Oh, Staged.
Yeah. Which was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
Yeah, I don't remember Series 2 as much, but I loved Series 1. I need to just watch the whole thing again, realistically. It was a brilliant show.
They're very popular.
It's a fantastic show. But, yeah, obviously, he shared the screen with David Tennant, or pretty much has literally shared the screen on Staged and on Good Omens. Good Omens is what I'm definitely going to be watching soon. I watched the first episode and it didn't grab me immediately, but I know I need to just give it another shot.
No, it takes a minute to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it will be a bit of a slow burn.
Because it's Neil Gaiman,
who is phenomenal. And Terry Pratchett as well, like his mind. I remember seeing an adaptation of Going Postal when I was younger, and that was really good. Probably it's nothing like that, but still. But I've heard really good things. Michael Sheen, I don't know if I'm weird for this. I'm not sure I could see him as easily as the Doctor. Is that just me?
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's almost safe, which is weird. I don't know. Is that weird to say?
Do you think so?
That would be like a safe casting? I don't know.
I think a safe casting would be David Tennant. No.
Well, look, that's just that's a ridiculous casting.
It is a ridiculous casting. I don't know. I think he'd be brilliant. I think right now I can't see it, but I think if he got cast, I'd see it and be like, oh no, yeah, of course he's perfect. I think just right now I'm struggling to visualize it, but I think he probably would end up being brilliant if he was cast.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he was already in Doctor Who.
Pretty much everyone on this list would be brilliant. Yeah, he was the House, wasn't he?
Yeah, in The Doctor's Wife.
The Doctor's Wife. And who wrote that?
I was going to say Neil Gaiman. Would you look at that?
Neil Gaiman.
Who would have thought?
The show is so connected. The show is ridiculously connected. The Whoniverse, more like multiverse.
It wouldn't, exactly.
The Whoniverse of madness.
Yeah, the Whoniverse of madness. Nice. You appealed to the Marvel fans there, including me. I appreciate it.
There we go.
I tip my Hawkeye cap to you.
Thank you very much, Lee.
But yeah, so there's Michael Sheen. After that is David Tennant again on 7-1 odds. Who knows why? We've then got let's go through the last few names because I want to make sure we keep to the hour runtime and I want to talk about our own personal castings. Let's round out the last couple. We have got Michaela Cole and Tania Miller after that. Tania Miller is a name I've seen everywhere on Twitter. Loads of people want Tania Miller.
In Black Mirror?
I believe
she was in Hellbent.
Yeah,
she was in Hellbent, wasn't she?
She was the next generation of the General after whoever the name of the guy was who played him in the 50th anniversary and then in Hellbent. Michaela Cole was in what's the name of the show that got loads of awards? I May Destroy You, I Will Destroy You, I May Destroy You. I think it was I May Destroy You.
Wait. Oh yeah, no, is she the one that's in Black Mirror? Someone's been in Black Mirror
because both of those names have been thrown about, and I think one of them was in Black Mirror. I think it might have been.
Yeah, no, it's her. It's her. She is so good in Black Mirror. She's been in 2 episodes. I think she's one of the only actresses in the show that's appeared in multiple episodes as different characters.
Gotcha.
And she was in the Star Trek episode. She's hilarious. She is so good.
I need to watch Black Mirror. I don't know why I've never watched it because it's done. It's done by Charlie Brooker, and he used to do a program in the UK called Weekly Wipe, and it was like taking swipes of the news, and it was brilliant. I'd easily a really good comic mind. So I don't know why I've never watched Black Mirror. I really don't. So
Black
I will
Mirror
do that.
is dark.
Yeah,
Black
it's dark.
Mirror
But I've heard it's great.
But it can be hilarious.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was brilliant in that. Okay, so that's where I know her from. Finally.
And
I know something.
The bottom, there's 3 names left. I'm going to get 2 out of the way because we didn't know who these guys were, and I don't want to do them injustice. But I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. I don't know who they are. The first one, I really hope I don't mispronounce these names, so I'm very sorry if I do. Fisayo Akinade. I don't know if that's how you say his name. According to a quick precautionary Google, he appeared in Cucumber and Ordinary Lies. I feel like I know his face, but I'm not familiar with his work. He's on 10 to 1 odds. I don't know whether you recognise him from anywhere.
I don't, unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably something I've seen him in where I recognise his face from, but off the top of my head I can't remember. And the bottom is Lucien Laviscount, might not be how you say the name as well, I don't know, on 12 to 1 odds, who appeared in Series 2 of Emily in Paris. So if you've seen that, you'll know who he is. I have not seen Emily in Paris, so I don't know. But apparently... my mum has seen it, and your mum has seen it. We were saying before this, so our mums could talk about it, and we could have a mum version of the podcast.
We should. Oi, mum, come on the podcast.
Oi, mum, get in here.
Real quick.
G'day, mate, get in here. I'm sorry, I've
come on in.
It. But above those 2, the last ones talk about very, very briefly. Somehow sliding in at 12 to 1 odds, Hugh Grant, which is
Hugh Grant.
Kind of seems like it out of left field, but he'd be brilliant.
I have not seen. This is the first time I've ever seen that on any list. Is that weird?
Have you not seen the Hugh Grant Doctor?
Wait, is that in the Mr. Bean special thing?
Mr. Bean.
Rowan Atkinson.
Sorry. The Mr. Bean. Yeah, the Mr. Bean Doctor
Rowan
Who
Atkinson.
special. The Curse of Mr. Bean. Yeah, if you've never seen, there is a Red Nose Day special from the late 90s. I think it was 97. Yeah. No, it must have been before the movie, I guess. It was written by Stephen Moffat, ironically, but it had Rowan Atkinson as a Doctor, and basically the Doctor regenerated about 4 times in the episode, obviously to play up the
bunch of cameos.
One was Joanna Lumley.
So many cameos.
What was one of them, Joanna Lumley? She wasn't she?
I can't
Wasn't Joanna Lumley one of them? Because I was about to say she's one of my top castings for Doctor Who. I would love to see her as the Doctor. I think she'd be amazing.
I think she is in that special.
Yeah. So, in fact, let me just look it up. Who we had? Rowan Atkinson, Joanna Lumley, Jonathan Price. Jonathan Price was the Master. Jim Broadbent was also the Doctor, and then you also had Richard E. Grant and Hugh Grant. I always get the Grants mixed up. They both have similar smiles. So many Grants. They both have similar smiles on Google. It's kind of creepy. They both look quite similar.
Are they related?
Maybe they are. I don't actually know. Richard E. Grant has a bigger forehead. It's not to say anything rude. I'm just saying he's got a bigger forehead. That's the only key difference I can see in the pictures between the two of them. They look scarily alike. Both fantastic actors, though. Both phenomenal actors.
Yeah, brilliant. But I wouldn't mind Hugh Grant. I honestly wouldn't mind Hugh Grant.
I mean, it's probably the Doctor Who link where they go, he's appeared in Curse of Fatal Death, and he's also been in With Nail and I with Paul McGann, another film I've never seen, which is apparently phenomenal.
Cool.
So he could be a really good choice. He could be a very, very, very good choice. I'd be up for it. But those are the list of I like how our episode has basically just been reading a list of likely Doctors. I hope it's been entertaining for you.
That's how I do most of my videos.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you lazy beggar.
I don't think of anything original.
But to wrap it up,
absolutely.
Who out of everybody, and you can't pick somebody on this list, okay, so forget your Lydia West fandom, because I agree, I think she'd be fantastic. If you could pick someone, and it can be someone you think would never land it, or even you think it'd be someone who'd be a bit more realistic, who would you want to see as the Doctor? Who do you think would ace it?
You ready for this?
Go for it.
You ready for this one? James Corden.
Thank you everyone for listening to episode 2 of Who's There, Doctor Who podcast. Come on, seriously, we're not. No. I had a feeling we were going to say the same person. I'm interested to see if you think of the same person I'm thinking of.
I'm drawing a blank right now because I've been obsessed with Lydia West this entire time. So
okay, well let me drop one name that I think would be brilliant for it, and then leave it there. So my pick, personally, and this is someone who I think realistically could probably do it, Because everyone goes, oh, what if we had Idris Elba as the Doctor? What if we had Tom Hiddleston? They're never going to happen. Okay, just face up to it. Tom Hiddleston's Loki. Idris Elba is going to be James Bond.
A lot of money.
And we're going to move on from that. That's not confirmed, by the way, but Idris Elba should be James Bond. If he was, I would watch every Bond film. He'd be perfect.
I agree.
That man oozes charisma and is one of the best actors out there. And he's playing Knuckles in Sonic 2. As a fan of the first Sonic film, I love that first film. I can't wait for him to be Knuckles in that. And it's been confirmed there's going to be Sonic 3. And it's been confirmed there's going to be a Knuckles spin-off show with Idris Elba. So I'm dining out on my Idris Elba fandom.
So much Idris content.
But for me, one name that I think would be perfect for this.
Hit me with it.
Phoebe WallerBridge.
Oh, brilliant. Why did I not think of that?
She would ace it. I think she would bring.
I'm assuming
the charisma.
I'm assuming you've seen Fleabag.
Of course, I have seen Fleabag. Yes, Fleabag is a phenomenal show.
I only just watched Fleabag maybe last month, and I watched the entire 2 series in a night, and it was some of the best written, well acted pieces of content I have ever seen.
Yeah,
genuinely. No word of a lie. Unreal. And then you realize at the end, you're like, oh, I didn't actually know half the characters' names, but I was so
exactly. That's what's so weird about it.
It's crazy.
You went on Twitter during the Hot Priest era of Fleabag. That was a weird place to be in Twitter.
I can imagine.
It was.
I can imagine.
Oh, that was a weird time. That was a weird time. But I think she'd be brilliant.
Phoebe Waller is a good shout. Phoebe Waller is an excellent shout.
You did mention somebody though before we started recording, and I kind of expressed a mild disagreement towards it. Do you remember who it was?
Yeah. This is interesting. Richard Ayoade.
I don't see it.
For.
I don't see it.
But you've never seen the IT crowd.
I have never seen the IT crowd. Granted, I've seen him in a bunch of other things, like on TV, like hosting things and just being. Personally, he's a funny guy. I don't dislike the guy. I think he's a funny dude. But the problem is, unless there's some kind of amazing performance in the IT crowd where he's showing off 50 different personalities, I don't know if he has the range for the Doctor. He's got this deadpan sarcasm type of humor that is good. But I worry that he'd be a bit one-dimensional just being like that in Doctor Who. If he could do more than that, and I just haven't seen it, fair enough. I apologise, but from what I've seen, I don't think he'd work, personally.
No, it is a valid concern. I 100% see where your head is at, but given his performance as Moss compared to... Moss is very, deadpan and, nerdy and, I don't know, something else. But... given that performance compared to how he is in those other shows where he's just hosting, there's some acting chops there. But granted, I've never seen him do anything that isn't the typical deadpan thing he is known for. So it would be pushing his acting limits, 100%. So does he have what it takes? I don't know. If Russell knows, maybe.
Speaking of Russell handling comedian actors, I would love to see him pull Neil Patrick Harris into Doctor Who. Can we make that happen?
Oh.
As a villain or something?
Crazy.
Oh, I would love that.
I think, surely he's a fan of the program. Can we say that? Is that canon?
I don't know. I'm
going to say that's canon.
If I Google's been my friend today. If I Google Neil Patrick Harris, Doctor Who, let's just see what comes up. Okay, let's just see what comes up.
I'm hoping for a cosplay.
Okay, it's an ad. He did it as a promotional ad in 2018, and he said, "I'm a highly trying TV Doctor who partnered with Cigna, I think the name is." I just saw Doctor Who in Google and went, "Oh,
Doctor Who partnered."
Yeah, there you go. He's gonna be Doctor Who. He's gonna be Doctor.
Come
Who.
on, Neil. Surely send him a steelbook or something that you have.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, come on. Give him a steelbook. Give him something. He'll do it. Give him something.
Yeah. He'll do it.
He's not having any of mine. It took me too long to get hold of all the steelbooks. Some of them were way too expensive. You don't know how expensive a couple of those were. They're probably even more expensive now. But I had to put a lot of money into especially Series 1 and Series 9. Those 2 steelbooks, to get those on eBay was not a fun time. Not a fun time. And they're probably even more expensive now.
Speaking of not a fun time, I think that brings us to the end of this episode, my friend.
That's not a fun time at all. Why would you end the episode?
Oh, okay. No, we can keep it going.
No, you've said it now. It's too late. It's
oh,
too
no,
late.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me.
You know what? I'm leaving. I'm going to go. I'm not committed to the
Okay.
bit. My chair's slid into my desk and I'll knock over my PS5 if I slide out dramatically, so I'm not going to do that.
No, that's fine.
No,
that is fine.
Seriously, that sounded like such a subtle flex. It wasn't meant to be. I'll just knock over my PS5 as I slide out. I didn't mean it
sorry.
that. But...
Oh, look at this stack of money.
Where? I need it. Where is it? You see something I don't see where.
I know where it is. It's going straight to Comic-Con next week.
It is. Yeah, it already has. Woohoo! That's gonna be a fun time. Anyway, so yes,
get excited for that, guys.
We will be back next Saturday. I like releasing these on Saturdays. It's kind of like Doctor Who should be releasing. You haven't got actual Doctor Who, so we got our Doctor Who. It's just as good. It's just as good. It's not really, but whatever. We're gonna say it's just as good, just so you guys give us some love and attention and validation. But yeah, so next Saturday we'll be back with the Doctor Who special. I'll be telling you all about London Comic Con Spring, meeting Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, Bernard Cribbins, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a really, really crazy time. I'm very excited.
You're meeting 5 people?
5 people. Bernard Cribbins is the one I'm low-key, really, apart from Jodie Whittaker, Bernard Cribbins is the one I'm low-key most excited for. That man's an icon.
I'm going to need, the most, detail you can give me on meeting these people.
I can barely afford any more autographs.
I want to live it. But I want to live it.
Because I think, I don't know whether I said this last week, but you can only buy photo opportunities ahead of time. You can't buy autographs. The only one I've got bagged for an autograph is Jodie Whittaker, because I bought a diamond pass, hence why I'm so poor. But if I can afford an autograph from Bernard Cribbins, I'll get him to sign the picture we take together, and I know exactly what I'm going to get him to write. I'm going to put "It's them aliens again."
Oh, nice, dude!
It's them aliens again. I'll bet my pension. He's brilliant. Again. Oh, bring him back, Russell. Bernard. Bring him back. If they bring back David and Catherine, bring Bernard Cribbins back.
Nah,
do it.
Screw David. Screw Catherine. That's the
Bernard Cribbins Doctor.
My boy Wilf.
That's it. Bernard, he's already been in the TV movie Peter Cushing. He's been in Doctor Who with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, making the Doctor. That's it now.
Making the Doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
Making the Doctor.
Done. Easy. No. Bernard Cribbins Doctor.
Have a brilliant time at Comic-Con.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I can't wait. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be one of the best days of your life.
It probably will be. It'll be wild. It will be wild. But we'll be back next week for that. So thank you all to everybody for listening. I'm just taking over. I'm doing the outro now. So there you go.
No, that's fine. Yeah. You do that. I'm going to sit back.
You sit back. You relax. You close your eyes and just have a sleep. Thank you all very much for listening / watching. Really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're not watching on YouTube, go to the YouTube channel and go and subscribe. We do have a link tree. So if you head to linktree.com/who's-there-DW, that should take you there. I know there's normally a shorter version of the link, but that should work. But you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at who's-there-DW. You can listen to the podcast now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. It's on all of those. He's vibing to all this news right now. I just see him doing all the hand actions. I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but whatever. So you can listen on all those platforms. You can watch on YouTube. Remember, you've got the YouTube comment section, Spotify Q&A, and also contacting us on Twitter and Instagram. Questions for us, questions about Doctor Who, and for the topic of next week's episode, have you met anyone from the set of Doctor Who? Have you met anyone around about just any Doctor Who actors? Is there people you want to meet? Let us know. Because next week I'll be talking as well about how I met John Bishop. Previously, how I met Alex Kingston. You can show off your Peter Capaldi. But either way, thank you all very much for listening. We do greatly appreciate it. And we will see you all next Saturday in episode 3 of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll see you all soon.
See you later.